Hello and welcome back to the new video of the Java tutorial series. So in our previous video we have seen the theoretical concept of the single linked list. Okay, so now from this video onwards we will be starting implementing all those functionalities of the single linked list that we want to know in order to understand the single linked list. So first of all, in this video we will be covering how to make the list in the using a single linked list. Okay, so let me just come here and create a new Java class, and I will just name it as singly linked list. Yes, now it's okay. So before that, I hope you have watched our previous video where we have discussed the theoretical parts of the single linked list, and in that video I have told you that we need one node uh, to make a single linked list. Okay, and that node contains the two parts. One is a data part, and one is next, which holding the address of the next node in the list. Okay, so for that let me just come here and I will create one another class which is our node of the linked list. I will name it as node s, which is node of single linked list. Okay, node s, and here we will create that structure. I hope you guys remember that structure. Let me just recall if you don't know what I'm telling. So this structure I'm talking about, this structure we are trying to create inside this class. Okay, so this class. Okay, so let me just come here and we know we want two parts. One is data part, I will name it as data, and another one is next, which is holding the address. So since it is holding the address for the next node, so the type of these variable should be node s, and I will just write this variable name as next. Okay, and now one thing, whenever this node is getting created, we want these that values that the user is given should assign to these two variables. Okay, so for that we need one constructor over here, and I will write one constructor of the node s, and this constructor will accept one parameter, that is data, which is given as an input by the user, like what's the data that the node is going to hold. Okay, so and we will assign these dot data, which is equal to data, and these represent to the current instance of the variable, and then our next should point to the null. That is the simplest idea of the node. We have taken those two variables and we have assigned that value, and according to the node, this is the idea, that is the data part is over here and next part is over, and this next is pointing to the null. We can change that null when the if there are more number of nodes inside the linked list. Okay, so for now I guess this is the pretty much that we have to do inside the node. And now if I go inside my main class, which is over here, and I will just create one function to make a list. Okay, so to create a single linked list. Okay, and now since we are accepting your input from the user, we need our scanner class to be imported. So I will write uh, import java dot util dot scanner. So we have imported the scanner class, and now since we are going to make multiple functions, I guess it is good to declare the scanner object globally inside the classroom. Okay, so I will write public static scanner sc is equals to new scanner system dot in. Okay, so now we have created this, and now I have told you one more thing. The first node of the list is called as head, and the last node is called as tail. Okay, So we need those two variables also. So we like write public static. So these are node type, right? So we write public static of type node s. One is head and one more is tail. All right. Now I think we are good to go to write the function. So I will just comment it out as function to make the singly linked list. Okay. So inside this, I will write my function public static and node s, and I will name my function as make list. Okay. Okay. So here you can see public static, and node s is the return type, because since this function is making our list, we have to return the head of the list, because to access one singly linked list, or the whatever the w or circular linked list, we need the head of the list, that is the first node of the list. Without knowing the first node of the list, we cannot traverse the whole list, or we just lost. If in case, if you if here if you not assign head as the first node of the list, and you assign this second node as the head of the list, then we will never have the track of the first node of the list. So that's why it's important to you to assign the head of the list and return the head while you're making the list, whatever it is, if it is singly w or circular linked list. Okay, so that's why we have written the return type as node as, and we have named our function name as make list, and we are not passing anything to this function, because it's just creating one list. Okay, now since okay, so assume one conditions, we are making one list. So initially, what do you think? Head and tail are null, right? Because list is empty till now. Okay, and tail should also point to null. So with that part we have done, and we will just simply write one print statement, that is enter the data in the list. Okay, so here we are asking the data from the user. Okay, so int data is equal to sc dot next int. So we have now data part which is entered by the user, right? So it's not the case that this function call will just once. Okay, so we are calling that function, you are making the list, and you are making multiple nodes inside the list. Okay, so for that purpose we will need one loop which is iterating over each time, whenever and how much the nodes you want exactly in your list, right? So for that we will need one while loop, and this while loop will run until and unless the data value is -1. That means whenever you give the data value as -1, this loop will break, which indicates that you are done with inserting the nodes inside the list, and you want to close the list and get out of this. Okay, now if now here, after coming inside this loop for the first time, we just have to create the node, the actual node of this linked list. Okay, so we'll create the object of the node s, and I will just name it as new node s, which is equals to the new node. And according to that constructor, we have to pass one data. Okay, so that data we have taken from the user over here, that we can simply pass it over here. Now at this point, line number 14, we have our list is our first node is got created. Now we have to check if one if condition is should be there, if our head equals to null. Sorry guys, wait a minute. Yeah, So if our head is equals to null, that represents that there is nothing inside the list, no node is there inside the list, and this is the first node that we are trying to insert our list. Okay, head is equals to null. So in that case we will just update the head value to the new node s, and we update our tails value also to the new node s. Okay, so this if condition will executed when there is no node inside the linked list, that is the first node that we are trying to insert the list. Okay, and now in the else part we'll just simply write tail dot next equals to new node s, and after that we will write tail is equal to new node s. Okay, so in this else part, so now in this else part, when this else part get run, when if condition is not executed, and if condition is not executed when there is a no present inside the list, and then in that case we just have to update our tail, because head is not going to update. Head is also already assigned as the first node of the list. Over here you can see head is assigned to the first node. We just have to point the tail to the next node. Okay, so if so that is achieved in that else block. Tail dot next is equal to new node dot next, that means tail is currently pointing over here, that is the first node of the list, and this next part, tails next part means this part we are trying to assign the next value to this node value. Okay, so in over here we have simply assigned that value to this, and we are simply assigning the tails value to the new node value. Okay, so our tail should point to this new node that is inserted inside the linked list, and how we are connecting to those nodes, that is the next part. In the next part we are storing the address of this new node over here, and we are simply assigning the tails value to the new node value. Okay, so this is the part that we have to do. And after this, okay, so whenever user done with the making the list, user will enter the -1 in the console as the data value, and loop will terminated. And after that we will simply write return head. Okay, so we'll simply return head of the linked list. Okay, and now if I write my main function, and to call that make list function, I need to keep the track of the head. Okay, so head I will write the node s is equal to head is equal to make list. So since this function is returning the head, we will store that head inside this local head variable, and after this line our function got called, and our list is completed, and our list is make. Okay, build. Okay, now I hope you guys understand how to make a single linked list. In our upcoming videos we will see some more functionalities of the linked list. So thank you for watching this video.